Welcome to the week of November 3rd, also known as Monumental Race Week. I know not all of you are racing, but most of you are. So we are going to focus on race week and what to do to have you ready for your best effort on Saturday. So we start with a moderate quality workout. There is no high quality workout this week. We don't need it. That type of training is done. We're going to save all the high quality for Saturday. Moderate quality, we're doing this scripted. This is something that if I've coached you for a while or you've been in the running club for a while, you've done it numerous times, and that's race week progression. There are options to this, especially if you're running the half marathon. Maybe we do want just a little bit more intensity. Nothing that would really qualify as a high quality workout, but maybe just a little bit more intensity. But primarily, we do a race week progression, which is working from you do a warm up, you do a mile a little bit faster, and then from that a little bit faster mile, we go to kind of the doorstep of real effort. We want to increase effort. We want to get some optimal tension in your legs or maintain that optimal tension with 3 to 4 miles. Most of you have 3. Some of your higher mileage runners might have 4. But we just want to get up to where if we progress this one more mile, now this would start feeling like a normal Tuesday or high quality workout. We want to stop before that. We're just maintaining that tension, because if we get to Saturday and we don't have enough tension in your legs, you can feel flat. You might not be able to judge pace quite as well. We want just a little bit there. Yes, much more rested than you were 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and through most of your training cycle. But we wanted to do a little bit. If you're looking for an option to this, let me know. Again, especially half marathoners. The rest of the week is easy running. Keep it comfortable. There shouldn't be anything where you're looking down going, oh boy, that was too fast. But there also shouldn't be this goal of slogging through these and running super slow. Because you're rested, the same easy, relaxed effort might be easily 30 seconds per mile faster because you're rested and you're not recovering from a hard Tuesday workout on Wednesday. You're not coming off of a 20 miler going into a Monday run. So they might be a little bit faster. That's okay. Just check in. Are you aerobic? Could you be conversational, whether you're by yourself or not? All those things. Keep it comfortable. Keep it relaxed. Cross training, if you are normally doing a little bit of cycling or elliptical or something like that on maybe a Wednesday, it's okay to keep that, but let's drop that back a little bit. We don't need to do a full session. We're cutting everything else back. We're going to cut cross training back as well. On Friday, I probably wouldn't do any cross training. If you don't want to run, you can go out and walk just to build a little bit of core body temperature, do some very gentle stretching, and that should be enough. If you have run every single Friday for the last however many months, yeah, you should go out and run on Friday. But that might be an easy 2 to 3. I don't see too many people need to do any more than 4 miles, especially if you're running the marathon. If you're running the half marathon, okay, for some of you, 4 or 5 miles might be good. But then again, we're looking at what is normal. And we're looking at what is normal and still dropping back a little bit, because for most of you, this is a goal race. Now, if you're running this socially, and maybe you're in Chicago, you're jumping in to do this either as a pacer or just as a social run, some of these things are different. We don't need to back off quite as much. We don't need to be quite as careful. But if you do, you might have a more enjoyable run on Saturday as well. On Sunday, just some gentle movement. That might be on a bike, it might be on an elliptical, it might not be any pounding, it might be walking. But do a little bit of something for at least 20, if not 30 minutes, and that will help you feel better faster. We know that the fastest way to recover from a hard, especially long race, is just gentle exercise. Running might not be appealing, running might not be the best thing for you after a marathon, but doing something for the next couple of days. It's always shocking to me, but I've seen it enough times that if somebody crosses the finish line of a marathon and they don't do anything for 2 weeks, that first run back is not all that great. They've had 2 weeks off, but seemingly those aches and pains that were there over that last mile or two in the marathon are still there. So working those out with a little gentle something on Sunday would be a good idea. I'm not sure I mentioned this, so I'm going to go backwards. Drop the strength training. If you're doing upper body strength training, I would even drop that, because there might be something to where, well, my back's a little bit tight from doing something upper body. If you must, dial that back by at least a third. Maybe if you're doing 3 sets, do 2 sets. If you're doing an hour session, do a 40-minute session. Do as little as you need mentally, and ideally I would drop it. Certainly lower body strength training, I would drop that as well. If you're doing a little bit of light band stuff before you go run, you can keep that, but I'd even drop that down a little bit. There's this level of fatigue that we carry around in training necessarily, because if we fully recovered from every session, we wouldn't get a whole lot done. And that would actually not be great for training effect. So we have this level of fatigue that we carry around that you can feel like, wow, I really dropped, I must be rested, and maybe you need a little bit more. Now, as I've mentioned from time to time, some people can drop too much too easily and they don't feel good. So that's why we always look at history with what has worked for you. When you run well, what did you do that week before? So that level of rest can be individual. Planning for the week. I know some people think through things differently than I do. So if you've had success with less planning, plan less. But most people, you're better off going into the week, knowing what to expect, doing those things, and arriving at the start line feeling like I've checked all the boxes, I'm ready to go. Now it's down to just running. And that's obviously what we want. We want it to come down to running and not planning affecting things. So plan your routine. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but routine comes a little bit harder in race week because you're doing things differently because it is race week. So even the things that on a normal week would be routine, plan those. When am I going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner especially on Friday? What's my breakfast on Saturday? All those things that are normally part of your routine, let's make sure that you think through those and make sure that you have a plan for that. Plan your mental loop. This might be the most important thing on here, because if you're normal, and we have people in this group that are beyond normal for sure, but it is going to be normal to catch yourself in this loop worrying about your race, no matter how prepared you are. And sometimes the more prepared you are, the more you worry about it, because you know you're a man or a woman without an alibi. But plan that mental loop. Okay, I can't get that race out of my head. Okay, what do? Let's go through. Maybe there's a sentence or two that you can repeat to yourself and say, I've done the work. I'm just going to cash in the work, whatever that is. But you can also have the mental loop of, okay, I can't get this out of my head, so here's what I'm going to do. And maybe you have a short version of your race plan that you just walk through mentally, and there it is. Okay, now I can move on to whatever else I need to be giving some attention to. Run through your race plan, not only in that mental loop, but also maybe once or twice a little bit more detailed, or maybe more than once or twice. As you know, I'm a big fan of correlating. Here's the goal time, here's the goal pace, here's how I want to feel, here's the flexibility within the plan, and just remind yourself of what that is. That way, when the gun goes off and all that adrenaline is released and the crazy is released, okay, here's what I said, here's what I'm going to do. And then not too far down the road, you get your senses back, and you can trust perceived exertion, and you're back in good shape. Plan race day logistics. Don't let that get in your way. Don't let that sabotage your race. Make sure you know what time you're getting up, what time you're leaving home, where you plan to park, maybe a plan B for parking. Things will be a little bit different this year with the start line change. So take a look at maps and figure out where I normally park, is that going to be affected or not, but have all that planned. And be flexible. Not everything goes according to plan. It's almost part of the plan that something will not go as planned. So don't get upset if something doesn't happen. Obviously, there's some pretty key points, like being at the start line when it's time to start, those kind of things. But most things are flexible. And if you're running a little bit late, okay, not ideal, but let's not panic. Let's just go through the rest of the plan. If you get to the start line and you realize this was the wrong corral, that's where you are. You have to adjust for that, be flexible for that. Say, okay, if I'm too far back, maybe the first couple miles are gonna be a little bit slower, but I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna have more energy towards the end of the race. If you're up a little bit further than maybe you should be, okay, I need to relax. It's okay if I feel like 20,000 people are passing me in the first mile. That's okay, because if I go with them right now because of where I am, that's too fast. Just be as flexible as you can with everything. Have a plan, stick to it as best you can, but realize that you need some flexibility in there. The expo, 4 to 7 on Thursday. If you are somebody who doesn't like the crowds and doesn't like to deal with that the day before the race, Thursday is the night to be there. I love 3-hour expos. I'll be there at the Pace Team booth. So 4 to 7 would be a great time to come pick up your packet. On Friday, lots of things going on. You can check out the expo speaker list. I'm talking at 12:30. I get the opening act time slot. Actually, I think I'm second, but because I have other things to do in the afternoon. So sometimes that those early talks can be a little bit lonely. So if you work it out that you're there at 12:30 and come to the talk or come afterwards, and that's a great time for us to talk about your race specifically. But if you have questions, I'm sure the other people there would love to hear those as well, because it might not be something they thought of that could be helpful for them to know. And then at about 3:30, I'm setting up for the elite meeting, elite packet pickup. I have a elite meeting at 5:30. I should be done with that by about 6:30. So if you're there in between those times, please stop by, say hello. If you have questions or concerns, we can address those. If you're in the wrong corral, I can usually help with that. So let me know. The corrals are different this year. For those of you that are in A or B, A is essentially 3 hours and faster for the marathon, 91 minutes and faster for the half marathon. So that has changed, bigger numbers in the race. So they had to add another wave, and maybe there'll be a last adjustment to that as well, but I doubt it at this point. So anything that you need, I'll be at the expo, open and close both days. On race day, and I'll have more about this in the weekly email, but on race day, I will have the tent set up. So you'll have that, and that will be in the running club area. I won't be there because I need to be taking care of some things with the pace team and the elite runners. But I will be at the finish line. When you come through the finish line, if I don't see you first, find me. I love to see the reaction as you're finishing, whether it's good or maybe it's not your best day. I love to be there for you at that point. I know that can be raw emotion, but that's the exciting part of this, right? We put our heart and soul into this, and at the finish line, we let it out, whether it's good or bad. So I look forward to seeing you there and talking to you at least briefly about your race, checking in how you did. There's points in the day where I really don't have a concept of how you did other than the look on your face, because the clock and your start time might not be matching up. So let me know how you did. I'll be able to see it on your face. But also after you recover a little bit, if you come up along the fence and want to talk a little bit more, want to tell me how awesome you were, I'd love to hear it. So you can always do that. I'm going to be there until 3:30. So I'm not going anywhere. So love to hear about that. We will have some dinner after the workout a week from Tuesday. So the Tuesday after Monumental. So that'll be another great time to catch up and hear about your race stories. So pretty basic week, no big surprises there. Just control, plan, and then let it all out on Saturday. I'll see you then.